इसके पीछे के षड्यंत्रकारियों को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। All those responsible will be brought to justice.
All questions are pointing towards one thing. Who was the mastermind of the Red Fort blast in which several lives are lost and a dozen remain injured? Imam Irfan Ahmed has emerged as the mastermind behind the Faridabad terror module. He is accused of radicalizing medical students. Among the 7 individuals arrested by Jammu and Kashmir police, Irfan is one of them. Irfan hails from Shopian and according to intelligence sources, he played a key role in pushing medical students towards extremist ideology. Irfan was a paramedical staff member at Government Medical College in Srinagar and maintained regular contact with several students. He also served as an imam at a mosque in Nagam. Sources also claim that Irfan gradually influenced medical students in Faridabad with radical thoughts. He was reportedly inspired by Jaish-e-Mohammed and frequently showed its videos to students. Additionally, he was in contact with individuals in Afghanistan through VoIP calls. His objective was to deeply embed extremist thinking into the minds of the students. It is reported that Dr. Muzammil Shakil and Dr. Muhammad Umar were actively advancing this mission. The entire module is believed to have been conceptualized by Irfan. Sources also suggest that the Delhi blast was carried out by Dr. Muhammad Umar in a state of panic after the Faridabad module was exposed. Umar had direct links with Maulvi Irfan Ahmed. Dr. Shaheen Saeed, a resident of Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, has surfaced as the financier and supporter of this module. She was teaching at Al-Falah University and is said to be the India commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed's women's wing, Jamaat-ul-Mo'mineen. Now, after this, there is a lot of chatter around who is the real culprit, but while those questions remain unanswered, we'll continue to track these details. Take a look at our report.
Terror attack in the national capital and a Jaish-e-Mohammed terror module linked to it. The crackdown began with Dr. Muzammil Shakil's arrest, a Pulwama-based faculty member at Al-Falah University. 2,900 kgs of explosives, ammonium nitrate, an AK-47 rifle and ammunition were recovered from his room. The module in Faridabad unearthed big terror conspiracy. Muzammil's associate Dr. Shaheen Shahid from Lucknow is in custody. She was running Jaish-e-Mohammed's women's ring in India. And Umar Mohammed, a suspected suicide bomber who allegedly blew himself up in the terror car. All of them were employed at Al-Falah. The university, which is nothing but a terror factory hidden in the heart of Faridabad. These doctors were members of radical doctors groups that coordinated every single thing on Telegram. Faridabad clearly was the factory and Delhi was the target. An AK-47 style rifle, a pistol, dozens of live rounds, 20 timers and remote detonators. Every sign of a plot in motion. With this, one thing is clear. Jaish has its tentacles spread in the city of Faridabad, but the big question is, how deep has the terror group dug into our cities? Bureau Report, NDTV.
Now, all this links towards the white-collar ecosystem and the terror system that was established by the Jaish-e-Mohammed. In a stunning revelation, a link has emerged between the blast near Delhi's iconic Red Fort that killed several, the white-collar terror module that was busted by the police teams of Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana. The ones behind this attack are both highly educated and highly radicalized. 6 doctors to be in particular. The screen shows you those culprits who planned and then executed such terror tentacles in Delhi? Take a look at our report.
Educated professionals, doctors, and radicalized. The involvement of Kashmiri doctors in the Delhi blast has brought to fore the stunning new dimension to the terror ecosystem in India. The white-collar terror ecosystem, as the Jammu and Kashmir police called it after arrests of doctors Adil Ahmed Rathar, Muzammil Shakil and Umar Mohammad. These doctors were arrested after prolonged investigation after Jaish posters started appearing on the outskirts of Srinagar. Adil Rathar was arrested from UP Saharanpur and Dr. Muzammil from Haryana's Faridabad. The recovery of 2,900 kgs of bomb-making material from Dr. Muzammil's 2 rented houses in Faridabad sent shockwaves across the country and the security establishment. A female doctor, Dr. Shaheen, from whose car ammunition was recovered, is the 4th suspected member of Jaish-e-Mohammed's Faridabad module. Shaheen is believed to have been tasked with establishing a Jaish women's wing. The Doctors of Terror network expanded to Lucknow as ATS raided the houses of Dr. Parvez, who is believed to be Dr. Muzammil's friend. He was not found at his home and a hunt is on. The Hyundai car driver who executed the suicide blast in a car in Delhi on Monday evening is also a doctor and worked with Muzammil and Shaheen at Faridabad's Al-Falah University. Sources in the security agencies told NDTV that Jaish chose doctors for its nefarious designs as no one would suspect them. This marks a sinister shift from conventional militancy to a new challenge where educated professionals from Kashmir living in cities are being tapped by terror groups to execute attacks. NDTV Bureau Report.
The prime suspect, Dr. Omar, and his Hyundai i20 are at the center of the blast that has rocked the national capital. A man named Sonu, who was the owner of Royal Car Zone, has been arrested. Take a look at this report to know the details of what exactly happened at 6:55.
The man and the car at the center of the blast that has rocked the national capital. The Hyundai i20 car that was used by terrorists in the Delhi blast case has become a central piece of evidence being used by cops to track the people behind the blast. This telling image shows a man suspected to be Dr. Umar, who was driving the car when the blast took place. Cops suspect he died during the blast.
Jaish-e-Mohammed operative Dr. Omar is being seen as a key face of the Delhi blast case at the Red Fort. Possibly his last image is him driving the said vehicle that exploded outside the Red Fort in the heart of the national capital. While the forensic teams and the security agencies are piecing together all evidence, this has put a good starting point for this incredibly big investigation into the terror attack in New Delhi.
Let's begin with what was found from the spot. The car had a Haryana license plate number HR26CE7674. Cops suspect the car was most likely loaded with ammonium nitrate that was used to assemble the bomb. Sources say that a manual detonator was used to trigger the bomb. The Delhi Police Special Cell has conducted extensive CCTV mapping to trace its movement across the city. Here is what they found. At 8:30 am on the Monday morning, the car was seen entering Badapur at the Delhi-Faridabad border. At 3:19 in the afternoon, the car was found parked near Red Fort. In fact, sources say that the car was stationary for 3 hours. Sources say the driver may have been waiting instructions or waiting for someone. At 6:28 pm, the car was seen leaving the parking lot. Blast took place at 6:55 pm. The other key piece of evidence that the car has helped the cops trace is the people involved. Cops said the car was stolen and that its ownership had changed multiple times. The car was originally owned by Salman, who sold it to Devender in March this year. Salman had been detained for questioning. Devender sold it to Amir in October. Amir handed over the car to Dr. Umar. Remember, Amir is important in the scheme of things, as he is the common link between this case and the Faridabad terror bust case. As per the cops, Tariq was aware of the handover.
The entire day today, multiple investigative agencies, including the Delhi Police and the NIA, visited the blast site outside the Red Fort to collect crucial evidence. Now, the investigative agencies are trying to see whether there were more handlers that were involved in this case. They are also trying to recreate the entire full route from Faridabad to the Red Fort, and apart from that, also trying to see whether this was part of a larger terror conspiracy. But the biggest question is, what was the main target of this Fidain attack that took place outside the Red Fort? Reporting from the blast site here outside the Red Fort, Aditya Rajkol for NDTV.
Among the cast of characters, one of the most notorious is Dr. Shaheen. She was allegedly assigned to establish and lead the women's wing of Jaish-e-Mohammed in India. Security agencies are now tracking Shaheen's associates. Shaheen's digital trail being scanned to unearth the full extent of the women-led terror network in India and otherwise. Investigators believe Dr. Shaheen was in contact with handlers across the border in Pakistan, and so the Pakistan link is also under the lens. Take a look at this report.
Dr. Shaheen, part of the Jaish-e-Mohammed Faridabad module, arrested from Lucknow. This is the female doctor who worked at Faridabad's Al-Falah Medical College near the capital. And along with Dr. Umar, who allegedly triggered the blast outside the Red Fort, and Dr. Muzammil, who was hiding nearly 3,000 kgs of explosives, is part of the 10/11 terror conspiracy.
It was here the Dr. Shaheen along with Dr. Umar and Dr. Muzammil used to work, the Al-Falah Medical College in Faridabad. It was here that her Swift Desire car was recovered with ammunition stacked inside, a network of white-collar terrorists, radicalized on telegram groups and waiting to strike terror.
Dr. Shaheen's father, Syed Ahmed Ansari, has no clue she could be involved in such activities.
मैंने आपसे बताया कि वो करीब 1.5 साल हो गए। बात अभी 1 महीने पहले लगे हमसे बात हुई है। शाहीन से परवेज से कब आपकी परवेज से हर हफ्ते होती बात। कल मेरी नहीं हुई इसलिए बात, कल मैं शादी में था।
The father had not met Shaheen and Parvez for the last 1.5 years as they went to pursue medical studies. Dr. Shaheen's brother, Parvez, has been detained and is under questioning for his possible involvement. He was previously absconding as his Lucknow house was being raided by NIA and ATS teams.
पुलिस ने शाहीन को डॉक्टर शाहीन गिरफ्तार किया है कि आपको इस बात की कोई अहमियत पता चला आपको किसी से?
हमें तो किसी से नहीं पता, आप ही लोग से पहली बात पता लग रहा है।
NDTV has accessed exclusive details about Dr. Shaheen and her role in the plot. She was allegedly recruited by the Jaish-e-Mohammed to establish the terror organization's women's wing in India. Its Pakistan arm is headed by Jaish chief Masood Azhar's sister. Dr. Shaheen was allegedly assigned to establish and lead the women's wing of Jaish-e-Mohammed. Shaheen's digital trail is now being scanned to unearth the full extent of the women-led terror network that was planned. Investigators believe she was in contact with handlers across the border in Pakistan. NDTV Bureau Report.
And my colleague Vishal Vivek has done this report from Chandni Chowk, which was once bustling market, is now coming to a standstill after this Red Fort blast. Take a look at this report.
We're coming to you live from one of the dark alleys of the Chandni Chowk area. This alley sort of tells the whole story, summarizes the whole story, how dark and grim it has become, because it's just evening time here in Chandni Chowk and you can see almost none of the shops are open here right now. And we spoke to many people earlier and they said that at any point in time, this alley is full of hundreds of people. You can barely walk around and you can see few vehicles just moving about, going to their homes probably, but because none of the shops are open right now, there are at least 3 dozen shops on both the sides of this alley. And on that end is the place where the bombing took place. It's about 50 to 60 meters from here. This is the place where and you can see a few people chatting about their, talking about whatever happened yesterday. Almost everyone that we've spoken to seems to be only talking about the Delhi blast that happened last night and killed at least 9 to 10 people. We are still gathering details. NIA has taken over the probe, and as I mentioned, this dark alley sort of summarizes whatever has gone down in the heart of the country. This is one of the busiest areas in the whole country. As I mentioned, it's filled, it's bustling with people any time you come around the year. But this is an evening time, and you can see almost no one is there. So this is what has gone down. People are still scared. People are still contemplating whatever has happened. They're shocked. So that is what has been going down, and people outside the the circumference, outside the radius about 300 meters from the blast site, they seem to be going about their activities. But these close about it, these areas that are close to the blast site, the life has almost come to a standstill, and that is what is happening right now.
On that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll tell you what's happening in Bihar and what do the exit polls say. The battleground Bihar, what exactly is unfolding as we continue towards the November 14 deadline when the results will be out? Who exactly got the Janta's mandate and who is going to say bye-bye to the Janta remains a big surprise. But exit polls do say something about it, and we'll deep dive into it. But the overall turnout that surprised everybody is this year's 66.91%, where women voters were seen higher than the male turnout. Women voters were about 71.6%, while the male turnout was 62.8% this time. My colleague Aishwarya is also joining me for an overall perspective on the Bihar voter turnout as well as what the exit polls say. Yes, Aishwarya.
Well, certainly it's the voters who have created history in Bihar Assembly elections. The Election Commission of India stated that this was the first time in the independent India's history that such a high voter turnout had occurred. The voter turnout was approximately 66.9%, the highest since 1951. The most important one, of course, being the participation of the women voters. Remember, the elections were held in two phases with 69.04% voter turnout in the first phase and 68.76% in the second. The combined went to 66.91, the highest ever recorded in Bihar. A total of 35.145 million women casted their ballots, while male participation was approximately 62.8%, a historic one indeed. And as you also said about the exit polls, certainly many exit polls predict that it's an NDA sweep over the Mahagathbandhan, and the experts clearly believe that exit polls have certainly not very accurate as far as the earlier ones are concerned. So we have to wait and watch till the 14th when the results will be out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for joining us and giving us that viewpoint. The Bharatiya Janata Party viewers and the Janata Dal United, including Chirag Paswan's Lok Jan Shakti Party, will record a comfortable win in the 2025 Bihar Assembly elections, picking up 147 of the state's 243 seats, according to the combined data from multiple exit polls that have come so far. And my colleague Rahul Kawal will decode what exactly this poll of polls mean.
It's a very clean, clear victory. Chanakya strategy says the NDA will be between 130 and 138. Remember, 122 is the magic figure in an assembly of 243 MLAs in Bihar. Dainik Bhaskar predicts the NDA will be between 145 and 160. DV Research predicts the NDA will be 130 to 138. JVC says NDA between 135 and 150. The Mahagathbandhan, Chanakya Strategies shows the Gathbandhan touching a 3-digit figure. Dainik Bhaskar shows the Gathbandhan at 73 to 91. DV Research shows Gathbandhan at 83 to 98. And JVC shows the MGB between 88 and 103. The Jan Swaraj is seen as a bit of a cropper, not doing very well. Between 0 and 3 in the Dainik Bhaskar poll, 2 and 4 in the DV Research poll, just 0 and 1 in the JVC poll, and not even opening its account in the Chanakya Strategies poll. So it's quite clear, in unison, the polls on the first sheet are predicting that the NDA is winning. Let's take a look at the second set of numbers that have been put out. Matrize says 147 to 167 for the NDA. P Mark saying 142 to 162 for the NDA. People's Insight projecting 147 to 167 for the NDA, and People's Pulse saying 133 to 159 for the National Democratic Alliance. The Gathbandhan 70 to 90 in Matrize, 76 to 95 in the TIF research poll, 145 to 163. That's what the TIF research data suggests.
And on that note, keep watching NDTV. We will be right back after this very short break.